Hi, everyone. You know who this is? This is Marina from How I Got Here. And this is my girl, Alytrillion.
Hello.
East.
Yes, I'm so excited. You look stunning.
So are you. I love that blue and red. We kind of matched kind of today.
Yeah, we're like giving patriotic, but we still have our own identity outside our country vibes.
I know, right? Okay, so we decided to just go on, our little live and talk about a very important topic. It's either, go ahead, girl. That's one of the topics. You know how my YouTube channel is called How I Got Here? So I'm just gonna go ahead and say, let's get high.
Yes, let's get high, y'all. This is the new thing.
Exactly. High could be anything. Look, however you want to portray it as or use it in whatever situation, whatever,
Yes.
So we take the high road while doing high thing. No, whatever.
I'm so here for it. It'll develop more along the way, but that's epic. It really is.
Right.
Just saying.
Thanks. All right. So again, we're going to talk about a topic that's actually everybody goes through every single day of our lives. It doesn't matter the age, the race, the gender. It doesn't matter. Being dependent, overcoming codependency, trying to become independent is it's a struggle, I would say, because when you are codependent, I would say it's because you are still young, growing, trying to find yourself. And when you're independent, that's when you already faced a lot on your own.
Right.
And you are now able to just, I don't know if the word sustain or survive would be more suitable, depending on the situation moving forward, like you know how to live your life. So you tell me, Miss Trillion, how do you see yourself in today's world, or at least on the stage that you're in right now? And how would you describe yourself, just generally?
I would describe myself as a delight. Trill for the thrill. I'm here for a good time and a long time because I respect myself and I love myself. So those are a few things that I feel like describe me right now. I'm kind of living in the moment, but purposely. What is it like with purpose? I'm living in the moment with purpose. I'm in my 30s, so typically the saying is I'm here for a good time, not a long time, but I'm here for a good time and a long time. I want to establish real friendships. I want everyone who's around me now to have some kind of substance. So we can all just, thrive in a really freaking amazing environment. So,
right. Yeah. I hear
but
you.
I love this topic of being codependent, because before we hit record, we were talking a little bit about how there's codependency in relationships. And I think even though I would agree that it's something that happens when you're younger, but it can happen at any age. I have a family member who's very codependent on her husband at 50.
Oh, yes. I hate that.
And if he leaves her, she's screwed because I
know. It's hard. That's one of the things that I was just talking about it with my cousin the other day, because I'm Jewish. So in our community, or I guess when you're part of a community, right, you're born into a specific type of a cycle. So when I was born, I was always taught when you get older, you have to get married, you stay with your husband. And my dad used to always say, don't worry about getting a job because you're going to have a husband who's going to take care of you. Because in his mind, he was like, now he's like, oh my God, I was so wrong to say that, because now I see that you're a single mom, you're happy, but you're doing everything by yourself. Because I always thought that you and your husband would last and he would be like me, take care of you. But while I was married, I was very codependent because I was scared. I was not taught naturally to be independent. Every woman that I noticed in our community, for the most part, is dependent on her husband. And then you have children and you're screwed. Not that you have children, you're screwed, but because the whole life and aspect and, the way society portrays you and views you and expects things from you, it's like you don't become independent overnight. You don't become successful overnight, and you got to work around your schedule, which is so difficult because then you have to rewire your brain and how to function and grow from basically, I don't know if the word I want to use from scratch, but I may not go back to college, but I still have to learn how to operate things. I love when you do this, I swear. You have to just operate on a completely different level.
Right. Your dad wasn't wrong, though. I mean, a man should naturally want to be a provider. He shouldn't want to see his woman working for another man, you know? So your woman answers to other men now. I would feel away. I think God made me a woman for a reason, because I think I may be too much if I was a man. But yeah, he wasn't wrong, but I think there needs to be a nice combination of both in today's society, because it's just not. People are like, oh, you know, my grandparents were together 50 years. I'm like, that doesn't exist anymore, because we need, there's things that we didn't see within those 50-year marriages. Okay. And we're seeing them now on social media. The cheating, the lying, the this, the that, all of that still existed, but we had no proof of it. So here we are thinking it's love and it's low self-esteem. It's 1,000 chances. You know, you need to know if you want me now, right now. So, I mean, not to discredit relationships that didn't go through that, but, you know, I agree to an extent. We have to, as women, have something, have skills to provide for ourselves, but regardless, right? Like basic freaking level. Right. But when you're with a man, what is the point? Don't you want to be a man? I mean, I'm modern, but I'm very traditional. Like, give me something to submit to. Otherwise, I'm fine being alone. I describe God as like my duvet cover. Like, he keeps me warm at night. I have unconditional love for my child. Granted, orgasms are amazing, but I love myself. Like, I don't need to go that route and unhappiness just for that. So yeah, what really do you bring to the table? But I can relate to being codependent financially. I learned about financial abuse in my first adult relationship with my son's father. Yeah. And it was tough to leave because I had no money. He controlled everything. You know, he put me in this house. He paid the bills. You know, I don't even think I bought this man a freaking gift card or any kind of gift. He did everything financially. And that was a mistake that I learned, you know, early on. I wish I would have honestly learned it earlier, but, yeah. And I think now, though, there's different forms of codependency. I would say now, to be honest, I'm a little emotionally codependent. I feel motivated when I'm more motivated to do certain things when I have a partner. And I don't really feel guilty about that yet.
No, I don't feel guilty either, because as much as I am independent now, which I'm proud of myself because I had to face everything head on. It doesn't mean that when you have a partner, you don't feel like doing extra things or you're not motivated to do things like I don't know. It's one way. I mean, because I have friends who are in happy relationships after their divorces, and they are very, very independent, yet they still love having a partner who's just like them, been there, done that, went through all that trauma, drama, pain, overcame a lot. They're still doing whatever they want to do individually, but they're still working together. So that's an amazing level to be on, as opposed to being in a relationship that you're happy, but you're still depending on each other.
Right.
Which is very hard.
I just want to give a shout out really randomly and really quick to Jewish people. I'm obsessed. Like, I cannot get, I don't even know what that means when I say it, but I'm literally obsessed. I love how there's communities, schools, ambulances, and just like privateness and community camaraderie. It really doesn't even, from what I noticed, it doesn't matter really what you look like or where you're from. If you're Jewish, you're a brother and you're a sister. And I love that. I seen that when I visited my uncle in jail. He converted to be Jewish and he carries it on still. But he converted in prison and found, you know, his purpose and meaning, like I think most people do in tough spots. And when I visited him, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I was like, how do I don't know. I mean, I was brought up Christian. I don't know how this works. I just want to.
What was he before though, that he converted to Judaism?
I think my family was Catholic. They were mostly Catholic. I don't think he ever, had a respect for that. I don't think he ever went to church, but yeah, he identified most with Judaism and he kept it rolling, and I respect it because it was a brotherhood that and a sisterhood that I hadn't seen, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I was like, wow, there's so many different kinds of people in here, sizes, heights, weight, colors, and it's just like you're their brother, because you know what I mean. It was dope.
Yeah. I know. I mean, I was born into it, so I'm proud of the fact that I am, right? But I was always rebellious. So like, I always loved learning cultures, and like all my friends are literally, my best friends are Black women, Catholic. And it's not that I'm choosing them. It just so happens you just click with them. And when I met my Black girlfriends and guy friends, it's always jokes flying back and forth. It's always love and respect, and it's always learning from one another, supporting one another. So when I like turn on the TV or I find out like what's going on, it breaks my heart so badly, because we can learn and should learn a lot from one another. Because like I said, as a Jewish woman, I was born into a specific system, specific culture, specific outfits, the way you talk, the way you act, everything is one way, systematic. You can go a little bit here and there, but you're still within. So when I was like, okay, I got it, but what else is there? What else is out there? So when I started talking to people outside of my community, I learned so much more. And I feel like that's what society is preventing us from doing, because you're either too comfortable in your community, which is a choice, but some people just stay there because they don't know any better. Also, maybe because they're uncomfortable, because, it's cultural differences, lifestyle, we can't go out because there's no kosher food or whatever. But at the same time, some people just choose not to do it because they're just too much in their comfort zone, right?
Right. No, I agree. I have a similar understanding like you. I'm Dominican and Puerto Rican. And I identify with being Spanish European and West African. Like I was born in this country in America, but I don't identify a whole lot with what is happening and certain labels that people are putting each other in. So like I people are like, oh, so because you're Dominican, you're Black. And I'm like, okay, that's fine too. But I go where I fit in. I love everyone equally. I have a beautiful, diverse group of friends. And the one thing we all have in common is we love to travel and we love food. So if you love traveling and food, I don't care what you are, let's get together and let's walk around and look like the definition of world peace, because I can't even relate. I remember, to me, racism is funny. So like on my podcast, I have an episode called Anal Plug Hell. Sorry guys, that's what it's called. And it's about real estate. I work in real estate and racism. And it's just so weird to me, because I remember in my early 20s, I used to be a backup dancer and a choreographer. And I went on this country music tour. And I was in Mississippi, Alabama. Like I was in the South, okay? And these white boys, it was me and my friend, and they loved us. I mean, I was like, yeah, I had more fun on that tour, than a hip hop tour. And I'm like, we all need to just get to know each other, have a conversation, because you'll be surprised what you learn from someone, right?
Yeah, and you'll be surprised how much, like, I know sometimes people say, oh, Black people are intimidating. I'm like, that's the best part. When you start talking to them, you see that smile. They're not uneducated. They're not closed-minded. They're open-minded, because society constantly pushes them against the wall, constantly picks on them. And because of that, they have to work so much harder. Of course, when you talk to other cultures and other women, whatever, you learn from one another, right? Because nobody is like 100%. But still, I learned a lot from them. I learned, like, I got my confidence thanks to them. Happier now. But I would have never had the guts to do it had I not had those friends. I'm not trying to be Black or Hispanic or Christian or whatever, Muslim. I'm still me. I'm just giving myself a chance to do what other people are doing, because life is too short. Like when I see what happens on the news, with Black people, hate crime, or police brutality or whatever, I'm like, life is too short.
In regards to that, I want to touch on it really quick, because people think that police brutality is exclusive to certain people. And I don't really talk about it because I kind of blacked out of the moment leading up to it. So I don't even have like a long enough detailed story. Yeah. But I was a victim of police brutality in college, and it took me a year to get over that whole night. And the police were a very small part of it, but I had that experience I was 19, I think, 18 or 19. And I'm 33 now. So I think not that police brutality started gaining popularity the last 5 years, but that's when I think people started noticing it more. Because we have Rodney King, which was what I think in the 90s. I don't remember that. I may have been like 3 years old or something. But yeah, I just tell people, be careful what you do and say, keep an open mind, or if not, ignorance is also bliss. To not know certain things, though, you live in a bubble, and that could be fine for you. If anything, maybe I wish I was ignorant. Excuse my language. Maybe I wish I didn't know certain things. I know too much. So yeah, I just wanted to share that, because it's not just exclusive to.
Oh no, it's not. It's definitely not. A video, and they literally sit there and they say, we have a quota to meet, and we have to go for minorities, Hispanic, Black, and gay. So they have to go and stop them, or whatever the case. And I was like, why? Like, why? This is like, I don't understand it. That's why everybody, when they look at each other, it's like they want everyone to be separated, hate each other, question each other. But like, I meet so many people that are not, I love my people. I don't have a problem being friends with them, but I purposely talk to people who are complete strangers. We become friends right away. And I'm like, that's the best part.
Like us.
Right? Exactly. The first time I saw you, I was like, oh my God, you're so hot. Which you are. You look amazing.
I was like, oh, thank you.
Right?
I don't connect with people how I connected with you, like that instantly. I'm cordial, so I can, oh my God, yeah. But are we going to be doing interviews like this? Are we going to be talking outside? Not really.
No, it's because we clicked.
We just clicked.
Right. You could be hot as hell, but if we didn't click, we didn't click. Okay. So we went from codependency to racism to being religious or being Jewish or whatever. There's a lot. So
it's a lot. I want to convert. I don't know how even that sounds, but I feel like it's like in me, and I just don't know how to get started. And it's like, I don't even know.
Not easy, but like, look, if you want, I can connect you to a bunch of great people, just whatever. Have a conversation.
Yeah, I'm totally down. I think there needs to be more diversity in all groups.
Absolutely.
All groups, yeah.
Because you cannot, I always tell people, you cannot learn life just by being with your people. And I don't care how much you love them, because I have friends that I know some people, the Jewish people, they're like, I'm very happy with who I am. I love being with my people. I'm like, that's cool. I have nothing. You don't have to have one Spanish friend or one Christian friend. You don't have to, but still be mindful, because I teach my children, this is what's happening outside. At least from that perspective, understand. Because some people are more lucky to have, what they have, or live a lifestyle, because Jewish people do not trust anybody because of what happened, because of, Holocaust, they started working together. That's one of the reasons why they are very successful. But I always felt like an outcast, because my family and I, even though we're Jewish, we're like from Russia, but we grew up with literally, we're from Brooklyn. So we grew up with like every nationality on the planet. So I cannot relate myself to just specific Jewish people. That's why I'm like you, like lost. I'm happy who I am, but I'm still lost, because I connect with like everybody on the planet. And unless I know you for a long time, if you're Jewish, I'm not friends with you like that.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like a little bit, like when I was married, I felt uncomfortable, not uncomfortable, just not fully at home. Something was missing. I don't know if it was, I missed my friends there. I missed more color, maybe. I don't know. Something, I wish my Black friends were there. My Spanish friends were there. It's like, okay, cool. You're great. You're awesome. But I miss diversity because you're just stuck living like this, thinking that, oh, if you have friends from outside of your culture, you're going to forget you're Jewish, or you're going to forget your traditions. I'm like, I didn't forget them. I keep major holidays. I'm not religious, but come on.
Yeah, no, the conversations like that go on in other communities. I think a lot of like Dominican people, they typically stick together. You know, they have Catholicism. I know my background. My mom is Dominican. They grew up Catholic. My grandmother, my aunts, you know, from her side, a lot of them still practice that, stick together. You know, they move to the Heights or places in the Bronx that, you know, it's.
But that's normal because
right,
you
right.
still have to have your own people around you. Like, you can't have a religious family in the middle of non-religious environment, because how you going to raise your kids? I get it.
Right.
But sometimes.
Oh, no. Like for me, I just, again, like, I check other for my race, because like I lived in Virginia 11 years. I always stood out there because in Virginia, you're either this or you're that, and you're visibly this or you're visibly that. And then there was me. I got very, very brown, almost as brown as the cigar in the summer. And in the winter is winter now, y'all, as you can see, and my skin kind of fades and gets more light. And it was always this question, like, what are you? What are you? What are you? What are you? And like being told I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough. And then I don't speak a lot of Spanish. And then I was told I talk like a white girl and all this stuff. And I'm just like, you know, all of these things that I've heard are, you know, circulate in my brain every now and then, and, you know, into my adult life. And I just decided I'm other. And if you like food and drinks and a good time, that's my ethnicity. And that's what we're gonna do.
Right. Like, they're like, what's your nationality? Like, what's your religion? I'm like, humanity. That's what it is. It doesn't matter. Because I'm like, I'm Jewish, light skin. You're Jewish, darker skin. You're Christian. Like, everybody's that stupid Americanized mentality to always divide and conquer. Like, when you go to a job and you start signing, you know, the paper for a job, and they start asking you, what is your nationality? Why does it matter? Who are you hiring? Are you white or non-Hispanic? Are you male or female? Well, who are you hiring? I'm a human and I want the position. You want me to do what, like, utilize my skills for this particular position. Why does it have to be? We're not prejudiced. We're not racist. We just want to know what your race is. Bitch. It doesn't matter what my race. I'm not a racist. That's my race.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. I had someone say, well, you need to pick. You need to pick. And I'm like, okay, Spanish, European, West African. And she laughed at me. I was like, at least I know. Like, at least I maybe Jewish, like 2%. I'm like, but at least I know where I'm from at the very least. I don't know what tribe, Jesus. But I know enough. When I lived in Georgia, though, I was getting, so to be a waitress, you have to get your liquor license, which is absurd in a way. So I had to go to court to apply. It was just like this whole weird process in Georgia. Like, I don't even know. Anyway,
underground somewhere also, right?
It was just weird. And on this paper that we had to fill out, there's 2 checks, 2 boxes, black and white. And I'm like, excuse me, I think like I got the wrong paper, you know, because what? Like, I can't choose. I just historically cannot choose one. I just can't. I'm half black and half white. If we just take away African and all this stuff.
Like, people think they just think so mad primitive. Like, I have
Georgia,
a friend,
like in court.
Right. But when you have parents black and white and maybe a grandmother who's Hispanic, you're all 3. I know somebody who's
I'm gonna pick who I spent most of the holidays with. Okay, here we go. Oh, no.
This year,
Asian. I'm Asian because that's why. You know, there was not even Asian there. You know, like, it was weird. Like, I want to be Hawaiian Pacific Islander. Like, I'm gonna just mess up all the censuses at this point. I'm sick of it all.
No, next time we're just gonna write a little box and be like human, non-racist. That's it. Because
nowadays I feel like we're being punished for being like heterosexual. You know, like, so LGBT was being criticized. Even still to this day, there's still a lot of crime against people who are gay for no reason. Like, mind your business. If you don't like it,
it's basically, I have a problem with who you're sleeping with. That's literally what it is.
But now the narrative is shifting into, like, now we're being punished and criticized for being heterosexual. That I'm not okay with, because I can't change it. I if you want to be a man and wear a dress, like, I personally am not knocking you, but don't knock me, because for me it's man, woman.
Yeah. That is the one thing that I'm like, yeah, I'm not judging, but you do you.
Yeah, like, it doesn't affect my day. We talked about everything possible. Like, when do we get paid for this? We gave the whole news, world news.
I know. So just to sum it all up, we talked about dependency and codependency. When you're codependent, you are relying on other people to basically help you grow, because you never think twice that, God forbid, something happens to that person. That person is no longer with you. It could be, God forbid, death, or it could be a divorce, or you break up, or whatever the case. So you just, go your separate ways. Then what? Ask yourself that question. So when you ask yourself that question and you realize that, hey, what happens if, let's say, we're no longer together? Now what? That's your first question to working on yourself, because you need your own independent, paycheck. Let's put it like that. You need your own life. So no matter how hard it is, if you still have somebody right now in your life, use that opportunity to grow as an independent person. Because one of the things I don't like in specific communities or old school mentality kind of families, where the man is like, I will work and you stay home. That's wrong. Even if I could stay home, still I need to have my own money coming in.
Absolutely.
For whatever reason.
Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
Even if it's him, even if it's where we get into this marriage relationship where I have an allowance and I'm putting it away. Because I had an allowance when I was with my son's father. I don't care how that sounds. Just, you gotta put the money away. You just gotta put the money away. We're here to tell you people don't make these mistakes. Okay, ladies or gentlemen, whatever. Because there's, gay marriages where the man plays a more submissive role as well. I've seen that. So so if you're in the position where you're not the provider, I would say take what you can, just in case.
That's how you grow. So when you become independent, whether you like it or not, you start realizing the value to your life. That's what happened to me. Like, when I stopped talking to everybody and started rebuilding my life from a different perspective. YouTube channel, I have another YouTube channel. I'm starting children's books or whatever it is, right? Because from one step you go to the next one. Everything is a stepping stone. I became so independent that even if I am in a relationship, I'm completely okay if we break up or we decide to go our separate ways, because no matter what happens, even if I'm married again, I'm still happy. It's still recording, right? I'm still happy with who I am, because I'm not dependent on you, which is very important.
I love it. No, thank you so much for asking me to be on. I definitely want to do this again sometime. I want to see you soon in person, and we will talk. We'll talk.
Yeah, anytime. And then we also need to let me know when you're actually in New York, and then we'll go. I'll take you to some nice Jewish restaurants.
Oh, yum. Yes, I will let you know ASAP. All right. All right. Good night.
Take care, love.
Bye.